My story starts around the age of 10 years old. That's the first time that I really noticed this internal struggle of my own where I just felt sad all the time. And I went up to my mom when I was 10 and I told her that I thought I was bipolar because it was the only reference for mental health that I had. But she actually said, no, of course you're not bipolar, you're just sad, which left me to wonder why my sad was so much harder to deal with than my friend's sad. And looking back now, I can see that that's when I had my first run-in with depression. But because it wasn't received well by my family, I kind of learned that it was something to be ashamed of. And I learned that being sad meant being weak meant needing help, and needing help wasn't okay. So that kind of developed later on into my life, and around the age of 13 or 14 years old when I was in competitive dance classes, that's kind of when things started to become more focused on my body and my weight, because being a dancer, the body type that is idealized it's not athletic. It's very fragile, very petite. You want to be the smallest one there. And so I started kind of comparing my body to the bodies of the girls that I was in dance class with. And so this being sad all the time kind of turned into hating myself and hating my body. And that's around the time that my eating disorder developed. That was the weight that I wanted to be. I thought that in order to be happy or to be important or to matter, I needed to be 85 pounds. And so, I struggled with that into my teenage years. And then when I was 15, my dad actually passed away from pancreatic cancer. And that was a really, really difficult time for me because not only was he my dad, he was my best friend. So that's kind of when things progressed into self-harm. And I began taking my grief and my anger out on myself by cutting into my skin. July 6th, cutting fast and with a new razor is definitely the way to go. This was the first time that I actually switched from using a pocket knife to using a razor blade. I remember feeling so accomplished when I wrote that, thinking that I had made this huge accomplishment in the world of cutting. And I remember being so proud of myself for finding that out. That cycle carried with me well into adulthood and into my 20s. That's just how I coped with things. That's just how I coped with being stressed and overwhelmed. I knew that it worked for me, so whenever anything got a little too difficult, I would binge and purge, or I would self-harm.
When I found out about her eating disorder, I was just becoming friends with her, and I noticed her tattoos on her wrists. And I asked her why she had them, and I saw her scars, and I knew right then and there.
It wasn't until about 4 years ago when I actually got into a recovery program that I really started kind of finding my worth was more than just my weight, it was more than my outward appearance, and that's when I really started getting into recovery and making a conscious decision and a conscious effort to change my life. Journaling has been something that's really helped me get through my days. It's so cathartic being able to sit down and just put everything that I felt and everything that I've experienced onto paper. It's kind of a way to just take the jumbled mess that's in my head, put it onto paper, and then put it away. I wish I had my current journal because I know that there's some positive stuff in that. Okay, hold on. There might be some positive stuff in this one. Yeah. She was really inspiring. January 17th, 2017, Andrew called me beautiful. I told him to shut up, but it made me feel kind of good. Oh, Andrew's my boyfriend. I met him through Celebrate Recovery. It's actually kind of funny, but I was in a really bad relationship at the time. I remember before I went to CR that night, I sat in my car and I prayed and I said, God, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you do, but I'm gonna stop looking for guys, because every time I look for a relationship I get myself into trouble, and I'm sick and tired of that. So I said, if there is somebody that you have designed for me, somebody that you want me to be with, you're gonna have to drop their ass straight into Celebrate Recovery, because I'm not looking. And I actually went to CR that night And I stood up and I got my 90-day coin, and when I turned around, I locked eyes with Andrew, who was sitting in the congregation. And I kind of walked past him and sat down at my seat and just focused on journaling and doing my own thing. But at the end of the service, he came up to me and asked if I wanted to see the sweet lights on his bike. And we kind of talked and hung out, and he's been in my life for almost 2 years now.
Well, I thought she was really pretty, and I was interested in getting to know her more.
For people coming into recovery because they've heard my story, the most important thing for them to know is that it's real, is that I'm not putting things in my testimony or in my story for shock value. I'm not researching things that would get the most viewers or the most interest. That the things that I talk about and the things that I say I've gone through are experiences that I have lived through, and they're lessons that I have learned because of my past and because of where life has taken me.
It's part of her recovery, helping other people, and when she knows that through doing this, that she has an opportunity to maybe help other people.
Having the opportunity to share my story with so many people would mean the world to me.
She's very open and honest about her life, which I think helps her and also can help other people.
To be able to share her testimony and to speak to people about what she went through and just tell them you're not alone. It does get better, it does get easier. I think that means a lot to her. Just even if it helps one person, I think that would make her day.
I honestly believe that I've been given this life and I've been given these experiences so that I could grow from them and then use them to show people that anyone can get through anything.
You can really see how people connect with her, and I think that's really cool.
A lot of people give up. A lot of people say it's too hard, it's never going to get better, it's never going to be okay, and they give up. And I think Jordan's living proof that that's not true.
She writes in her journal a lot, and I'm a pretty nosy guy, and I'd be peeking over at what she was writing, and I could see her internal struggles that she wasn't really talking about to me. I don't really see that as much anymore when I peek over and read her journal while she's writing in it.
February 18th, 2017 was the 2-year anniversary of the day I tried to die. I sat in my bed with a handful of pills and Googled how many would be fatal. I sat there for hours, to the point where the pills were melting in my hand and I was sobbing. I couldn't bring myself to take the pills, but I'm here, I'm alive, I'm happy, and I haven't cut, binged, purged, or restricted in 2017. That makes me feel really good. Really good. That was in February of 2017, and in January of 2018, I had my 1 year. This accomplishment is huge because if I didn't have this accomplishment, I wouldn't have any of the other ones. If I had succeeded in killing myself in February of 2015, I wouldn't be in school, and I wouldn't have had the things that have made me happy since then. So this is kind of the accomplishment that is the base for all other accomplishments, and it's the one that I'm most proud of.
Jordan, she is a very strong and courageous person. She's very humbled, and she's very talented. She's just really just an awesome person.
Jordan is such a hard worker. It's amazing to see what she can put her mind to, and she has an idea, she's going to run with it until there is no more. Her confidence is something she doesn't know that she has a lot more of than she really thinks she does. And I think everyone struggles with knowing how good you are at things, but I think she needs that just extra push of, okay, you're good at it, please believe that. Life is pretty good now. I am a full-time student majoring in broadcast and cinema arts. I am actually set to graduate in 6 weeks. I still have my ups and downs. I still have bad days where I think that I could just go binge on pizza in a parking lot and purge it, or pick up razor blades at CVS, but my sobriety is so much of who I am now that I work every day to maintain it. It's so important to me. And I'm so thankful that I am finding ways now to live life to the fullest, to the best that I possibly can,
and to not let my eating disorder or the way that I look on the outside get to me. And I'm really, really proud of that.